The night was quiet in Brooklyn. Streetlights buzzed. A lonely cat crossed the alley. Inside a little corner shop, one man was still awake. Mike. His hands were white with flour, his apron stained with sauce. The ovens glowed red like miniature suns. The tables were empty now, but the smell lingered. Baked crust, bubbling cheese, basil still fresh from the farmer's market. Mike leaned on the counter, tired but proud. For him, pizza wasn't just food, it was life. It was his father teaching him to knead dough, his mother yelling at him not to burn the sauce. It was late nights, rush hours, laughter of customers tearing slices apart. He stretched his arms and yawned. "One last pie," he whispered. He slid dough across the counter, ladled sauce, sprinkled cheese. The oven door closed, the fire roared. Mike sat, watching the crust rise through the glass. His eyelids grew heavy. He thought of tomorrow's deliveries, of bills, of life. He thought of his shop, the little world he'd built. And then, sleep took him. But when he opened his eyes, the shop was gone. Stone walls rose around him. Torches burned. Men in iron armor stood at his sides. The air smelled of smoke and sweat. Where the hell am I?" Mike stammered. "Silence," a soldier barked. "The Emperor awaits." Before he could protest, Mike was dragged into a massive hall. Marble columns, golden statues, the murmur of nobles dressed in flowing robes. At the far end, on a throne high above, sat the Emperor of Rome, Caesar himself. The hall went silent. The Emperor's voice was calm, yet heavy. "Stranger, you claim to be a maker of foods unknown to us. They say you shape bread like the sun, with flavors fit for the gods. Is it true?" Mike's mouth went dry. I make pizza." A whisper rippled through the court. "Pizza? Pizza?" The Emperor leaned forward. "Then make it. For me, tonight. If you succeed, perhaps you may return to your land. But fail, and you remain here, forever, baking bread for Rome." The guards shoved Mike aside into the kitchens of the palace. Iron pots, bronze pans, open fires. No mixers, no cheese graters, no ovens like he knew. Just crude tools, rough hands, and suspicious stares from Roman cooks. Mike swallowed hard. "Okay, Mike," he whispered. "Time to make the best pizza Rome has ever seen. Flour." He needed flour. In his shop, he had bags stacked high, fine as powder. Here, a Roman cook handed him a sack of coarse ground wheat, heavy and gritty. "This is your flour," the man sneered. "Make your miracle." Mike dipped his hand in. It was rough like sand. The dough would never stretch the way he wanted. He asked for finer grind. They laughed. So he went to the mill himself. A donkey turned a giant stone wheel, crushing grain into dust. Mike watched, fascinated, then helped guide the grinding. Slowly he refined it. Finer, finer still. Not perfect, but better. Back in the kitchen, he poured water, added yeast from Roman wine foam, and began kneading. At first, the dough tore. The Romans laughed. "This foreigner cannot even bake bread." But Mike closed his eyes. He thought of his shop, of his father's hands guiding his own. Push, fold, stretch, breathe. Hours passed. His arms ached, his back screamed. But the dough grew elastic, alive. By dawn, it was ready. Mike smiled. Now sauce. But then, he froze. Tomatoes. There were no tomatoes in Rome. They wouldn't reach Europe for another 1,500 years. He felt his stomach drop. No tomatoes, no sauce, no pizza. He tried figs. Too sweet. He tried grapes. Too thin. Finally, he crushed olives, added garlic, onion, herbs from the garden, basil, oregano, thyme. He simmered it over low flame, tasting, adjusting, sweating. It wasn't tomato sauce, but it was rich, savory, Roman. A sauce Caesar himself might respect. Still, he doubted. Is this pizza or just flatbread with stuff on it? Next came cheese. Mike dreamed of mozzarella. Soft, white, stringy, but here, sheep's milk cheese, salty and sharp. Goat cheese, crumbly and sour. He experimented, melted one, then another. too hard, too oily, until he found ricotta, soft and creamy. Mixing sheep's cheese with fresh curds, he made a blend, melty enough, flavorful enough. Not mozzarella, but good. A pizza without a blazing oven? Impossible. Mike searched the palace kitchen. Clay ovens made for bread, too cool, too uneven. He begged the blacksmiths to build hotter. They refused. So he stacked stones himself. He fed firewood, fanned flames until sweat poured down his face. The Romans watched as the fire roared, the stones glowing red. He was building something new. An oven meant not just for bread, but for pizza. By evening, the heat shimmered in the air. It was ready. The dough stretched thin. The olive herb sauce spread across it. Cheese crumbled on top. Mike paused. Toppings? In Rome, there was no pepperoni, no mushrooms from cans, but there were figs, olives, honey, even anchovies from the coast. Carefully, he arranged them. Sweet, salty, sharp, bold. He slid it into the blazing oven. The dough bubbled. The cheese melted. The air filled with a smell no Roman had ever known. The kitchen fell silent. Even the cooks leaned closer, breathing it in. The pizza was placed before the emperor. A circle of bread, steaming, glowing, alive. Caesar's eyes narrowed. He lifted a piece. The cheese stretched. The crust crackled. He took a bite. Silence, then a smile. This, the emperor said, his voice low and steady, is food worthy of Rome. The hall erupted. Senators cheered. Nobles clapped. Even the guards laughed in joy. Mike sank to his knees, exhausted, tears burning his eyes. That night he slept in the palace, and when he opened his eyes, the marble was gone. The torches, the crowds, the throne, gone. He was back in his shop, the oven glowing, a pie waiting inside. Mike opened the door. Steam rolled out. He lifted the pizza, perfect and golden. He laughed. Guess even Caesar loved pizza. And from that night on, every pizza he made carried a secret, a memory, of the time Rome itself bowed to the power of dough, sauce, and cheese. And that is how one man, armed with nothing but skill and heart, gave the greatest empire in history its very first taste of pizza.